Avec Vincent, Vincent, s'il vous plaît, en haut. Madame Binoche. Encore la gauche, s'il vous plaît. Juliette, s'il vous plaît. Et là, Pierre, t'as vu le monsieur maintenant. Merci. Juliette, ça te plaît, Juliette. Vous voyez la fille. Voilà. Oh, yes. Juliette, on est à droite. Ils sont à droite. Yeah, that's fine. Ok, à droite, s'il vous plaît. Voilà, là c'est parfait là. Pas pour nous. Bienvenue chez nous. Et maintenant tous les trois par ici, voie droite. Voilà, s'il vous plaît. Voilà. Juliette, s'il vous plaît. Juliette, Vincent. Juliette. Encore à gauche, s'il vous plaît. Thank you. Juliette, à gauche, s'il vous plaît. Tout le monde est là. To the corner.
Unbelievable, but true. Even though the great French director Claire Denis has, of course, been represented at the Berlinale before, she has never been in competition. This year, she is finally featured with her all-star cast film Both Sides of the Blade. Juliette Binoche and Vincent Lindon play a married couple that has been together for a long time and is suddenly deeply rattled by a chance reunion. These two outstanding actors succeed in accurately portraying this relationship. Claire Denis presents an intense psychological study, an inside observation of this relationship, and it is her third collaboration with famous author Christine Agneau, Both Sides of the Blade.
Pour les questions, vous avez les... C'est les oreillettes pour les questions. Si jamais il y a une question qui n'est pas en anglais. Bonjour, bienvenue à la...
Good afternoon and welcome to the press conference for this film, Two Sides of the Blade. It's going to be a world premiere this evening, and we'd certainly like to welcome them to the Berlin Film Festival. The participants I'm going to introduce you to, we have producer Olivier Delbosc on your left. Next to him, Juliette Binoche. Next to her, Claire Denis. And then Vincent Lindon. So the press conference will be in French, but you do have interpretation at your service if you require it. Would you like to begin, ma'am?
La question est en français déjà.
The question's in French anyway.
Bonjour, Anne-Christine Loranger, le magazine
I'm Christiane Loranger from Marlene Loyola.
Bonjour, madame. J'aimerais vous demander...
I'd like to ask you to tell us something about the title. And I think through this film, you wanted, because this film is difficult to watch, people are lying to each other, they're not sincere, they argue, it's not easy. Mike Nichols did Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf,
ce type de film-là que vous vouliez
But it
faire.
wasn't that kind of film that you wanted to do.
Et on voit une très lente
And you've taken a
dégradation de la
very
relation.
slow deterioration
Un couple qui avait
in this relationship, a
une
couple
dimension cachée. J'aimerais également
that obviously has hidden dimensions. And I'd like to hear what Madame Binoche and Monsieur Lindon think about it. They did fantastic work in front of the camera, very close up. And sometimes the scenes are very long, trying to get at the truth of these. Would you like me to begin, says Claire Denis. I'll start with the close-ups. I'm going to start with the end of your question, because to begin with, I didn't catch what you said right at the beginning. But we're in a very small flat, we're in a car, we're in a little house. I think it's intimacy, the intimacy of these people that they have with each other. It's also the perspective of the film. We're not going to judge these people, we're not going to be detached, we're with them. And I say we, the film, Éric Gauthier, our DOP, myself, some things that we did where our hearts were in synchrony. I don't think that distance would help us, and the flat, in any case, was a kind of closed universe. You probably noticed that the film was shot during lockdown, and I was saying, we can't change that. I'm not going to go out and ask Paris to let me do things on the subway. I can't disguise it. It's the now we're living in, and this is it. And that too brought us closer together, because that period meant that people were together, but they weren't all similar, these bubbles. So yes, we watch this deterioration. I'll let you be the judge of that, but I think it's something. It's an adventure. The adventure that love means between a couple is always moving. It's not something stable. And sometimes there are collisions, shocks. And I think in that story, Sarah and Jean love each other. But when Sarah sees someone return from her past, and his past as well, she's at first concerned, upset, and then she gives herself an authorization to think certain things. I wouldn't call that a deterioration. I think it's something that can happen in love. It's not a degradation, it's a brutal transformation, and it can be very painful, yes. But a deterioration, no, that's too negative. I don't know whether I should say anything else. I think the scenes, they worked on us. We had to work from the inside, but we took our courage in our hands. We were tenacious, as it says in the French title, and I think there's no, or there was a descent, let's say, in the love. It went downhill to check itself out in a certain way. It's not that they fall in love during the film. They're happy, and then suddenly this surprise come along. It's a sudden event. And the problem there is to be true to yourself, to be authentic, but you also want to live. You want to confront this turbulence with dignity, but also with little nooks and crannies that are hard to get by, a sense of betrayal, a sense of violence that these turbulences can trigger inside you. And I think we were quite brave to make this film, because it's a very tricky theme. It wasn't simple for any of us. But I think this transformed us. It shook us. We didn't remain the same. So that's the result, the film you see. Question here. Oh no, let's ask Vincent first. The worst thing about being third is that everyone's made all the right points, and of course, we've talked about love, we've talked about tenacity. We know it's about that. We know they've dealt with love and what happens to it. So there's one point I could still make, and it's my own perspective on the film. I think that rather than it a story of love, it's a story of passion, and I'm more interested in the passion. The passion is, it's like a dictatorship of the skin. Love is a fantastic thing. When you fancy someone, like Jean and Sarah maybe fancy each other, it's terrible when someone escapes you and you're crazy about their scent and everything. I think those things happen between people. But when you want to stay with the other one and you see that it isn't possible, it's sometimes easier if the thing stops, because it's like you're dreaming of a thing and you're dreaming so much that when you get to a stage like that and you want to stay with someone for the rest of your life, and then you discover that something doesn't work, you've got to decide whether to go or where the other one needs to go. I don't know if maybe it would be such a good thing if she returns to François.
Hi, David Levitz, Deutsche Welle. I have a question for Claire, Juliette, and Vincent. Sorry. Hello. Hi, and if you could respond in English, that would also be wonderful. If not, no worries. We see in this film this couple who seem to be very happy, who love each other, are very passionate about each other, and yet...
No.
Okay.
I refuse the word seem.
Okay, who love each other, who are passionate about each other, and yet it all goes horribly wrong. And I'm wondering, or seems to go horribly wrong, I'm wondering if there's something, if this destructive, volatile potential is in all happy couples who love each other, and if not, what are the psychological components for the characters that lead to this, apart from the third person?
Tu veux répondre?
No, go ahead.
J'y vais.
Yeah.
I think when this third person comes back into this couple, because he was the best friend of Jean and he was a lover, a strong lover of my past in the story, I think it takes her and him by surprise. It was not premeditated. It was not, they could not anticipate this kind of, change. And so they have to go through this aside in a way. They're trying together, but aside mostly, because it's such a difficult journey to go through. But then at the end of it, they gain that love in a way, that love, they gain it back somehow, because they went through that huge wave of discomfort and this rawness of feelings. And I don't think it's psychological. I think it takes you by surprise viscerally in the guts. And that's why it's so unpredictable, because it's something that in your body chemically, as Vincent was saying, that takes you into a place you didn't expect. So finally you're obsessed by him, by this person. Your needs of having him inside you as a woman, it becomes like a need that is so big. And that's what also one of the themes of the film is, that it grabs you. And there's nothing psychological about it. It's visceral. And that's why at the end, when there's this conflict between Jean and Sarah, it goes that high and that deep and unbearable because it's like it brings the animals in us, the instinct of also surviving.
Now the thing is, for a man, or for me anyway, if the third guy, the third person, if Sarah didn't know François before, it's very difficult for a man because he has to put in his brain that he wants to say to the other one, who you are and are you so better than me? Because I spent 10 years of my life to love and look and hear Sarah, and you come in 1 second and you are so superior as me, then you can take her and do what you want. And it's unacceptable for a man. But in that case, is the contrary. If it's Alain Delon sentence in a movie, he said, on est de la même maison, Totoche. Which means if you loved the wife or the woman I like and I love today, we are from the same club, the same member, and I like you because we have, you gave her the same respect as I am giving now. And then you can sit at my table. It's fantastic, but it's dangerous. And I think Jean is obliged to like the one who loves Sarah, and he is obliged to like that Sarah loves somebody else that he likes himself. I don't know if I'm clear, I hope. And so it's one of the reasons I wanted to do the movie, because I like a lot when a woman is between two men, or sometimes a man between two women. I think it's nice. It's 3 persons, and everybody likes and loves everybody. And at the end, they have to decide because they won't be able to stay 3. So one have to leave, maybe 2. Maybe they're gonna finish 1, 1, and 1. Maybe 2 and 1, but not 3. And that's what I like, and that's one reason I wanted to do the movie, because it's something very, very strong, and the way Claire Denis did that is really not usual. It's that's it.
I can add something. It's not me doing it. It's because there was a sort of trust so that we could go very far without being afraid. And that fight was was only possible because you, Juliette, and you, Vincent, were like fighters, and me and Eric Gauthier, the cameraman, the DP, we were like running after you. There was 1 take, 2 take, never more, you know. We were in that night going very far, and I think not only we were exhausted, I think we were restless. I mean, like having been ourselves through that fight, you know. That's why I think it's true. It's not a psychological thing. It's only words, hiding the passion inside, you know. I always walk right. You know, it's something, yeah, it's an experience. Due also to my collaboration with Christine Angot.
C'est justement, peut-être pour revenir là-dessus, c'est un film que vous faites avec...
As you said, you make this film with a team of basically a family. Vincent, Lindon, Juliette, Binoche, they've been in your films before, And you've been working with Christine Angot before, second time, yes. And did working with Éric Gauthier change things? Because you had, with Christine, you'd been working on a script together, but she'd written a novel. I don't think that changed. I think what did change a lot for all of us was the start of the pandemic, which affected us. We were all separated from each other. Perhaps I worked for 4 days with Christine in Montpellier, and it was a very different experience, like being in a cheese bell, a great solitude. And Olivier, our producer, understood that we had to find new ways of working with each other, rediscover ourselves. And I remember that Vincent organized a dinner with Olivier, because it wasn't that we were dying in our houses, but we were very alone. And working like that with Christine was hard too. It was not so reassuring, not so cozy. Claire is right. The only way we communicate for a few months was by telephone. So Claire would talk to Vincent with Christine, and the only way to get together visually was after we had the first version of the screenplay, where finally Juliette and Vincent were able to get together, but the film had been developed during the pandemic and during lockdown. I just wanted to say that for me it was really important, talking to Christine, to know that I had Juliette and Vincent. I hadn't really, in my mind's eye, seen Grégoire yet. He wasn't a long way away. The question over there.
From Brazil. Question here. Question for Claire Denis here.
Derrière la caméra, oui.
Hi Claire, this is Rodrigo from Brazil. I have a question. Yes, I'd like to ask you about the music of Tinder Sticks, especially the song Both Sides of the Blade. If you could tell a few words about your partnership with them. Thank you.
Well, I've been working with Stuart Staple and Tinder Sticks for 20 years now, and I never ask them. I always think it's Stuart who has to do the first step, and because I don't want him to feel obliged to do music for a film. But when we received a song in the editing room, I was struck by the quality of those words, and then I thought, avec amour et acharnement, it's very difficult to translate in English, and I thought maybe Both Sides of the Blade was the real title, like it's really both sides. There is a blade, which means, and there are both sides, which describe exactly the movie, I think.
Ici.
Hello, my question goes to actors. Can you share us your feelings and also your experience? Can we really can we really waste our past like a memory card? And just we are discussing it, this was a very interesting metaphor, because now our life inside in telephone, everything we have in telephone, contacts, so memories and pictures, videos, everything. Our life is inside a telephone. And can we really waste our memory like just 1 minute? Thank you.
J'ai pas compris. Waste our memories?
Oui.
Si son téléphone tombe dans l'eau,
That phone falls into the water and everything's deleted. So when you lose your telephone, you lose your life. Can you lose your past in the same way? I'll let you answer that. I could give you a quick answer. I didn't lose my phone in the film, so that'll be faster. I carry a lot of data around with me still. Is this a personal question?
Personal question? Or you want Jean? Yeah, I know, but we can't speak together. So I start. You prefer Jean answer or Vincent answer? Alors Vincent, c'est tant mieux, chouette, because I didn't know nothing.
Vincent says it's great.
So, but I know mine. J'ai pas de réseau, moi. J'ai pas.
I don't have a network. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Facebook. I don't have any of those things. I don't keep SMSs, texts in my mobile. I keep things in my life. I can't lose it 4 times over. But the question was to you. I don't mind answering.
For me, in a way, I think it's the typical answer of a guy working in a phone booth, and she says, everything is lost. It did happen to me, so I know exactly what it is. And he says, yeah, tout est foutu, c'est parti. But of course, you know it's not gone. What is gone is this impression. It's like a reflection of the life. It's not, I'm sure Sarah knows it's not all gone, you know? But it's just the word of this young man at the phone booth. So, oui, tout est parti, c'est foutu. That's all, I think.
It never happened to me, and I hope it will never happen to me. But what I can say is that I lost my father, and I cannot erase his number. No. I need to keep it inside.
Yeah. And me, I kept also few dead person in my memory of the phone. Yeah.
Question là-bas.
Ja, guten Tag. Mein Name ist Anna Rosa.
Hello, Anna Rosa. I'm from Russia. I'm a correspondent with Info Moscow, and my question is to Claire Denis. I noticed that you have a second theme in this film, which is the thread about migrants in Western society. So my question is, was that simply a trendy contribution to cinema, or did you, parallel to the love story, want to awaken the attention of the audience? Because the son of your leading man talks about Arabs and blacks, people with black skin, people of color having a tough time in life. And I think that's a really important theme. But it's a little bit marginal, it's parallel to the love story. What would you like to say about that?
I can say many things about that because it's something that matters a lot. And the way Jean is talking to his son is a father talks with a good reason. He doesn't want his son to get lost between the cover of being black, because he says black and Arabs are mistreated. But his son is, his mother lives in the Caribbean, and this is not immigration. He's not the son of immigration. His son is, Caribbean are supposed to be a French territory, you know, it's not, it's mixed, it's black, you know. But I think for me, as the fact that Sarah is working in this radio, RFI, who is a radio in France that is in contact with many countries in the world, I thought it was important to see that you can work. She is a journalist, but she has a private life too, as Jean is trying to create a small company and is going also shopping. And in life is made as different face, you know. And I would never use immigration as a parallelist theme for a film. I would be very ashamed of doing that. I think it's part of our life completely, you know. You cannot say, I'm in love, and the world is going well. I don't think so. I mean, life is a little bit more intricate, you know. Like, for instance, this woman from Beirut, this Libanian teacher, who Juliette really, in fact, interviewed, she was really desperate when we did that. You know, it was not for the movie. It was her life in Lebanon at that time. And it's today, I spoke with her 2 weeks ago, it's even worse, you know. And as to speak about Lilian Thuram, it's his life now that he's not playing soccer anymore. His life is, working to help this to make a better understanding in France, you know. That's all I can say.
Monsieur, ici.
Hello.
Hello.
A question for Claire Denis. You've worked with Olivier on several films now. One of your next projects, The Stars at Noon, is that now completely finished? And might we expect...
It's not finished at all. We start editing not long ago.
Might we expect to see it at the Cannes Film Festival this year, or will it...
Oof. I don't know.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Please, don't push me. No.
Ici, là-haut. Deuxième rang.
It's a very insecure terrain, filmmaking, you know. There is no, one day you're doing this and the next day somebody is dead or gone. You don't know. And the work in film is fragile, I think, for all of us.
Bonjour à tous.
Hello, everyone. My question is to Juliette Binoche. I'm Catissier from ZDF, German television. You have so many loving women that you've played in your films. Has anything changed in the way you think that love is narrated in films, especially the last couple of years?
So what's your question?
The way that films talk about love, has it changed? Has it changed at all since you started playing women who love?
No, love is love. The way we treat love is different. And it depends on the stories, it depends on the way we are. We're capable of I wouldn't say talk about it, but live it. Because the incarnation that the actor has is has to go through the truth of the person who's playing it or living it. So it depends on the project matter. But as Philippe Seymour Hoffman is saying, acting is about questions. So you put yourself inside of a situation. You don't know the answer. You just know that there's a question there that you have to experience. And it comes out of you without thinking. You can think before, after, but while you're in it, you have to be as truthful as the situation pushes you in. With the words or without the words, or what's underneath. And also what's amazing about love is that we have limitations, you know, in the way we perceive it or can give it. But we also go through scenes that reveal something new and bigger than we think. So that's what I love to experience.
I love this answer.
Thank you.
Une dernière question ici.
Last question.
Thanks a lot for this film. It's really a lot to feel and to think about. My question is, I think, primarily to Juliette, but also to Claire and Vincent. Sarah says, in this past 10 years, I've never been free, closer to the end. And did you answer for yourself if Sarah could be happy with one of these men, or the only solution for the situation was to go away? And if it is a solution, if it is a pause or a full stop, and if at all it was possible to love one of them, or just go out of this emotional cage or relationship cage and go look for the love further. Thank you.
I'm not sure I understand, sorry. So what's the question?
The question is, did Sarah love one of them, and did she have the future with one of them, with one of the men? Or the only solution was to leave the whole situation behind? For, in your own opinion.
We don't know the answer. I mean, we know that Sarah is leaving Grégoire Collin's character. What's his name?
François.
François. No, I haven't, sorry, it's been a while. We had a few things happening since then. But we don't know the answer, do we? We don't. Huh?
Some answer or not at all?
Well, you know, what was written in the script is different than what it is in the film, and that's what the challenge of the shooting time is that between what we what we read, what we live in the shooting, and at the end with the editing, there are 3 different stages that can be very different. And from what I read and what it is now, for me it's a different film. And it's not resolved, I'd say, like it was in the script. But nevertheless, I think the resolving somehow is about, in Sarah's case, that there's no going back. And I understand that, because when you live such a roller coaster of emotions, being in between, these 2 different stories or relationships, it's so violent that there's it makes you have you want to have another perception about love, and you don't know yet what it is. So I think with the phone scene, definitely there's something in her she hasn't resolved yet, but there's no going back. That's the way I felt it.
There was a, if I can say, you don't mind, Vincent?
Non, je répondrai après, vas-y.
Oui. There was something different in the script. It was something that, a sort of returning home, but by the time we were shooting, there was a gun, maybe a dead person shooting, and there was also, I was afraid of a sort of pity, and I thought the right thing was none of them, I mean Jean or Sarah, because François is another story. Jean offered a choice, a solution, and Sarah, she cannot return as it was before, and I think Jean also, I think there is no possibility to choose one or the other, because if there was a choice, it would be Jean, and probably, but then as the moment François stand there like a hawk, it's like a little bit, the love story change, and it could be solved by an ending closing the story. For me, it had to be open. That's all I think.
For me, it's not a story of a woman between two men. It's a story between Jean and Sarah, Sarah and Jean. And what is important, it's my view, it's what I like is in those two persons is Jean is charming because he accepts to show all his femininity. And that's the only way to be frankly and to be a man as Claire wanted him to be. And Sarah accepts to live like used to live men before. So she accepts masculinity. And there is a third person who's coming to try to disturb the discussion between those two. But if the story will go and go and go a long time, I'm sure that by instinct we want to go in Sarah's place to know how she lives, to go to Jean's place or Jean's mother's place, but I'm not sure we want to put a camera in François' place, because the story is what Sarah think about that, and how Jean accept all of this. But François is just, for me, it's comment dire, un ustensile, un outil.
He's a tool.
A tool to make those two going through the story. It's. I think I want to stay with Sarah. I want to be in Sarah's head, and I want to be in Jean's head. But François is just something to shake this couple.
Yeah.
And to say, hey, Sarah, what do you think about that? And hey, Jean, how you gonna fight with that? And then after, it's like in a script when you have something to build a script, and at the end, because the script is speaking all about this, you can take it off, and everything stay here. When you build something, sometimes at the end you can take the thing who helps you to build the thing. So I don't say that François is not important in the story, but it's something just, it's the line of the middle of the field to see the two teams fighting together.
If I can add something, and it was already in the book written by Christine, that the trust is shared between Sarah and Jean. Then they trust each other a lot. And they accept everything of it on each other. And probably, I think, Sarah is not completely sure about François. And Jean is not completely sure about François. The trust is between those two. I think it's my belief.
Okay, so this is the end of the press conference. We have to stop there. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. And the Berlinale is very honored to welcome Claire Denis again after she was jury president in 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you to Juliette and Olivier and Vincent. I would not have been able to be here alone without them.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Comme ça.